And he was super comfortable in her house, even walking into her bedroom. That's a lot of speculation. I'm, a little bit of betrayed right now.
Do you think Robin would have gone there?
I don't know. That's just automatically what I'm thinking.
Does that change anything for you?
Just yet another lie. They lied about everything. So, how close they were, the fact that he was always over there. Come on. All they did was lie. Just makes me, you know what? Just not to be trusted.
Besties, I have something that I gotta say. There has been some confusing headlines lately when it comes to sister wives. And maybe it's because Christine has conflicting feelings, but I got through an entire book written by Christine Brown, Willie, and reading through her experience with Kody and how he treated her and how he treated her children and how he didn't show up for her kids and how he abandoned them and mistreated them and neglected them. And then I saw this article by People suggesting that Kody and his kids can repair their relationship, which maybe it's her rose-colored glasses. I don't know. But the title is from People, okay? And the article is Christine Brown says her ex Cody's relationship with his kids is an ongoing story and adds things are going to be better. I hope so. You know, you know what it's like to be like a forever optimist? It can be so disappointing when you're always assuming that someone is going to change, right? Like, have you ever had someone in your life, this is just me asking you, that your relationship was like with a parent? Let's just go right there. Do you have a parent where all you wanted was a good relationship with your parent and you spent all of your life trying to make that relationship good? And you did things to make them happy. You tried to be the perfect daughter or son. You accommodated and did what they needed or wanted. You tried to be amiable and there for them when they needed you and available to them, only to find out all the time over and over again that no matter what you do, the change has to come from them. It's not how Mary says that you need to change yourself, because you don't. You really don't. If someone is mistreating you and you have to change to be around them, that just spells like toxic. And I think there could be on the horizon an opportunity for Kody to repair his relationships. I don't see it happening because Kody needs people to fall in line. And there's some of his kids that have made clear they don't want anything to do with him ever again. And Kody has made clear that if his kids can't accept Robin, they won't have a relationship with him. And unfortunately, with narcissists, triangulation is what they do. And Robin did triangulate Kody from his kids, and Kody has triangulated Robin and his kids. So it's just a mess. But I'm sure because she has a daughter that is still a minor, she wants to think the best. I don't know why they are publishing this article today because the interview was more than 20 days ago, but it says things are going to be better. That's kind of an ongoing story for that. But I do believe Kody is a good person. I think that things are going to be better. I hope things are going to be better. Oh, that hurts my heart. I've never met Kody, and I don't think he's a good person. I don't. Maybe it's because I can see through him and I see what kind of person he is, but I cannot see a guy that puts a woman above his kids as a good person, abandons a daughter that's going through surgery, neglectfully causes an ATV accident with a son with autism, sticks a child with autism, his son David, into an RV for not complying, like sitting in an RV in Arizona, having to sit in a driveway. Basically berating his children to the point that one is so bullied and feels so defeated, he ends up taking his life. you know, she is a better person than I. And maybe it's that programming and maybe it's how she can, make sense of why she stayed with him. Maybe here's the thing about narcissists. They're usually charming and they can turn it on and they can show you that side of them where they seem like a good person. But I think Kody at the core is just rotten. Anyway, she wrote, things take time. There's a lot of things that we say about each other that we hear, and it's just the nature of it. So we've got some things to work through, I'm sure. That felt like coded language. There's a lot of things we say about each other and that we hear. I wish they would just say, like, listen, on the show, we say some really awful things about each other. And I just don't know if this is going to be beneficial for our or their relationships. I think McKelty said it best last week. As long as the show is still on and as long as Kody has an opportunity to use his kids for content, the kids won't have, there'll be no healing, no chance of healing because they won't trust that they can speak to their dad and share with him without it being weaponized against them on a show, right? And they don't want to be bullied or intimidated into silence. They don't want to be threatened with lawsuits. They just want to be able to like live their life and do their thing and not have to deal with what he's doing on TLC. But they also don't want to have the show being used as a weapon against them or have their lives on display just because their dad signed up for a show. And that's the problem with reality TV is that unless you can get the reality television like producers to agree to not include someone's name or talk about them, if you're a child of someone that's on reality television, they can talk about you. And it's very weird to hear parents disparage their kids. I know that it happens. Trust me. I know the older generation does it. I grew up around it. I grew up around parents that had no problem disparaging their kids. I grew up around grandparents that had no problem disparaging their kids. I just don't think that it's healthy. And I certainly don't think it's healthy to publicly disparage your children. There would be no trust there. Now, what I think is funny is that this article comes out. They talk to her before her book comes out, right? And they recycle parts of different conversations and things that Kody says to make a whole new article, which is so weird to me. It says, it was like a vicious cycle all the time because for years I'd say, your dad loves you. He loves you. He wanted to spend time with you. I would tell my kids that all the time that he's going to come over. You're going to have a great time, blah, blah, blah. And after a while, they just stopped believing me. So in her book, she writes about that when they were in Flagstaff, she would always tell the girls that their dad would come over and come and see them. And then he never would show up. Or if he did show up, he would only stop over for a little bit. Or he would say hello and then he'd go upstairs in her bedroom and not interact with them. Or if they invited him to go do something with them, he would never want to do anything with them. He went kayaking with them once and sat on the shore and watched them. And a part of that was because he probably didn't want to spend time with Christine. So he's punishing his children. And he always said that he did not know how to have relationships with kids because his relationship with his kids always existed in a home with his wives, which is bullshit. Honestly, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I mean it. I mean, I think about my husband, and my husband is literally the most amazing dad. Honest to God. My son and him are like best buds. Those two have inside jokes. They are constantly being silly together. They do all these activities together. They go outside and they build all these like Hot Wheels track things. And I mean, honestly, I'm convinced that boys, even as they get older, never grow out of wanting toys. And men, once they have a boy, just want to play with toys. And so it's like a dream come true. And I love their relationship. I love how much they have the same sense of humor and they have all these inside jokes. And it's so cute. And then I'm like with my son, and my husband won't be there. And then he says something that sounds just like my husband. And I'm like, the fact that Christine's kids don't have a relationship with their father and don't know what that's like, I would hope you would want to hope that your husband would be there. But at this point, all of the kids are adults except for one. And he's never had a good relationship with Truly. And she doesn't want to spend the night over at his house. And she doesn't spend time alone with him. And they'll never be able to build their relationship with him and reclaim those times as a child because they're gone. They're gone. He was busy he had too many families, he had too many obligations. I mean, I hate polygamy for women, but it's an impossible life for men. And the men that do it for the wrong reasons, like Kody, that don't care about the women, are they don't those women are nothing to them. Christine was nothing to him. She was just a vehicle that made babies. That was it. And then those babies he didn't like because he didn't like Christine. And because Kody can't see his kids beyond an extension of Christine, he cannot have a relationship with them. And because he doesn't know how to have a relationship with anyone, everyone has to worship him. You know, I would be like heartbroken. And I would never want to disparage my ex in front of them, but I feel like sometimes like don't your adult children deserve to know the truth? You know, don't they deserve to hear, you know what, he may not ever change and that's okay. It might not ever happen. In her book, she says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And this is her doing something over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Kody is 57 years old. 57 years old. I don't know people that are 57 that change. My husband's 54. He's pretty set in his ways. He's just who he is at this point. Cody's not going to change. He's not going to suddenly have an epiphany and be like, oh, I really need to do things differently and I need to repair these relationships. I mean, so here's the quote from Kody. My children will always be my children and the door will always be open to them. They've got to come through the door. I'm going to be holding a hand out for but I'm going to be holding this hand that's next to me and I won't let go of that hand. I will not cut off Robin or have to have a relationship with my children. The fact that they live in a space where that's the only way they can have a relationship is the problem. That's the problem. I can understand the kids not liking Robin and using that as an excuse because in polygamy, it's easier to blame the woman than it is to blame the men. But I don't think it's just that they don't want her to have him to have a relationship with Robin. I think Robin enables Kody. And so they know that Robin enables Kody and she's going to twist whatever she does. What they do and see Kody, this is why we can't be around your children. They're not safe. But, you know, if he can't put down his pride and just try to find middle ground with his kids, it won't work. And that's the problem with narcissists. And I tell you this sincerely from my own experience is that when you have a parent that's a narcissist, you don't get to have like a half relationship, right? So if your parents are still together and one of them is a narcissist and you decide I can't speak to the narcissist, that narcissist is going to make it so that you don't get to have a relationship then with the other parent because you only get to be in the family if you allow them to be a part of your life. You don't get to have a half relationship with the other parent as long as the narcissist is involved. And generally, the partner that's married to the narcissist is being emotionally and maybe physically, not in my family, but emotionally, verbally abused. And so then you're dealing with another parent that's in their own fight or flight, and talking to them isn't safe because they're always defending the narcissist. And so sometimes the best and healthiest thing for the child is to cut them both off. As much as you love the other parent, they're not capable as long as the narcissist is influencing them. And sometimes the best thing you can do is say, I'm not going to continue the pattern of insanity. And I'm just going to move forward. And it's painful and it's hard and it sucks. And you might have daddy issues and mommy issues, but you'll get through it. I mean, the fact that he makes statements like this, some people think that parental child relationships shouldn't have to be reciprocal, but when they're adults, yeah, they do. I'm not going to reach out forever. I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end and make some effort too. I'm not going to go camp out on someone's doorstep. McKelty says he never calls, but more importantly, when he does call, no one wants to talk to him because they know he's a jerk. Christine can want Kody to change, but she can't change her kids that don't want to have a relationship with him. And if they don't want to have a relationship with him, it's not going to get better. It's just going to be what it is. And sometimes that's okay. Because I'll tell you from my experience, going no contact is the best. It's hard, but it's so much healthier because dealing with narcissistic abuse and their mind games will keep you in a fog where you will feel unstable and inadequate and your self-esteem will be in the toilet. The only way that you can improve your self-esteem and your mental clarity is getting away from their games and their gaslighting. So that was my confusion. And I just feel sad for the kids. And Christine's rose colored glasses will never go away. And it's why so many people love her. At some point, I think it's just best to like say it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.